analysts here on the desk today, as once again, all three of you incorrect on the predictions. I'm gonna have to keep returning to this until you guys get one right. But
I've been
all three
breathing
for
too much of the
H2K.
European air, man. What's going on? I'm just baffled at the play that we're seeing here. It's like I wouldn't even be upset if the European teams were actually showing up, but they're playing bad. It hurts.
I thought I had a smart plan, guys. You know, I was like, okay, I got to find the cool kids. I got to find the smart kids. I need to prep with the right people. Went straight to Deficio and Crepo.
Right. Okay, but see, here's the thing. Both of you are now kind of just playing the ignorance card there, but that means that you listen to this man. So now I'm going to come to you, Crepo. Please defend the predictions here so far today.
Oh, you think I'm sad for my prediction rate? I'm sad for the horrible display of macro that H2K have shown there. Like, they forgot everything, and including about the game. It was disgusting. I'm ashamed for Europe right now, and I feel honestly really bad because they had the opportunity to close out the game very, very early on, and they neglected it.
Now, we talk about, lack of macro play out of the European teams, but we do also have to look at the other side. And AHQ, as Freak put it, intelligently playing against a team that did not know what to do throughout the game.
But to build up on Crepo's point, the reason why the macro play was so bad, I mean, for me particularly, one of the biggest things when you become a team, when you're trying to actually make it into a good professional team, it's using your teleports, knowing how to use TPs effectively. H2K had a decent early game, right? They had about a 2K gold lead that could have snowballed very well after a skirmish into the top side. You know why? Because they had a TP advantage onto the Gnar, who is one of the best divers in the bottom lane than out of everything else. So they have TP advantage, they have a setup bottom, they're beautiful, the jungler has recall, all they need to do, 5-man bottom, take the bottom turret, and you win the game, right from that get-go. But for some reason, that bottom turret never went down, and they lost every single dragon. They lost every Baron. What is going on? They just kept trying these solo picks. We saw Cassiopeia trying to get a 1v3 over the wall. Oh, my God.
I'm going to let Crepo jump on that point, but I just have to say, I wrote down here, why couldn't H2K convert their lead in the early game? And there it is right there, just not taking advantage of what they had built for themselves in TP advantages and that early gold lead.
And we saw both sides of AHQ, the struggling team that went a little bit over-eager in the early game that got punished. A couple of moves shouldn't be made. But then we also saw the AHQ that had the resurgence in their regional qualifier. Both 3-0s versus Hong Kong Esports and then Machi. And they swept that tournament. And they did that by merits of really good macro play. And here they were on the defensive because they had the scaling. And then they created space later on for their AD carry Jinx. But it was still taking advantage of weaknesses that H2K left, and especially Deficio harped on it. Like, we both love our deep vision. If you only ward river, you never challenge the deep vision. You let them just orb in, ward over the wall. It is so lackluster, and it's so disappointing to see. And I think the root of this problem is their internal communication, because with a coach like Prawley, who understands the game so well, you should be delivering more on the world stage.
Well, this to me, they just didn't seem to know the next step. They were so binary in their decision-making after getting a lead. I mean, the fulcrum of Ryu and Jankos were doing things in the early game, and then they just ran out of a plan. You know, they were looking for these really high-risk, low-percentage plays, the ult flash, looking for a pick with the Cassiopeia. When they finally got a pick on the Jinx and killed her, they'd used so much that they just couldn't really translate it into any objectives. So going for those low percentage plays, and even when they're getting the pick, just not being able to grow any sort of a lead.
You're talking about objectives. I want to take a moment to go ahead and take another look at that AHQ ace brought to you by Acer one more time. I mean, they had two Baron plays, but both played well by this team.
But it starts right here. The distance of this bar ulti is too far, even when you see the portal. So this means that Odoamne should actually never go for the teleport, because he knows Ryu could actually just walk out of the ultimate. But there is just no communication as to what the entire plan is and what H2K is going to do next in case AHQ engage here. They seem to be caught off guard and panic teleport every single time, and that leads to a favorable Baron here.
And once again, like they go back towards the mid lane, they're trying to get control, but they just get caught out, and they're refusing to get the priority first. They're skipping steps in this entire process. You're 5-manning mid. This is not an ARAM.
And this is so smart from Westor. They just saw Odoamne teleport in. They use the ult. They force Odoamne to back. At worst, it's going to be the 5v4 for AHQ. So it's such a smart Baron timing. And you talk about communication, Crepo. Communication really on point from AHQ.
Yeah, AHQ on point. They bait them in, lure them into the Baron area. They can't finish it off, even though Jinx has that minigun, but they kite upwards in their safe region, and they suck in Ryu, who steps forward. And then obviously Ryu has counter threat potential, but not versus the super fed Olaf. Mountain again really positioning well in the fight. Everybody on AHQ here was on the same page. They used the Baron as a bait because they knew they were 4v5. They isolated the key target. They finished him off, and the rest was very easy to play out. Some sweet micro here too, on going for the wards for lifesteal. These little decisions really mattered.
That's also a little bit of that increased damage, minimum and maximum damage on that ultimate from Jinx, securing that first kill, freeing her up in terms of mobility to continue through the fight.
I mean, we followed that really long replay. That's like 3, 4, 5 points that were communicated and executed on. H2K got 1, 2 maybe at some points, but never to those next steps, and that was the difference.
And the fact that a replay was so long, it showed you that League of Legends is kind of a cascading series of events. It's not a single play. It's all in relationship with each other. It starts with the teleport being forced and being down. Then it goes down to Oluwamne being targeted out. And then with a man advantage, TP advantage, that gets translated into a play. That play looks like a bait and switch. You know, so all these things follow up on each other. That's what macro is. Now, H2K just had like, guys, let's play in this side of the map, and then, I mean, let's just play some solo queue.
Absolutely. Now, this wasn't an easy decision, but player of the game is going to go to Ziv. And when we talked about, you know, the win for this team came through the team play. So it's always really hard to pinpoint a singular person in those instances who brought it all home. But, you know, weathering the storm there from Oduwamne in the top lane, you know, smartly playing around minion waves and pressure, and then bringing in that AoE damage for the team fight.
It was one hell of a storm dash. This was a rush on the Malmortis into Frozen Mounts. About as much punishing a laning-focused build as you could go with the Gnar. It's why the Gnar was a little bit squishier in the team fights. Built for the lane, and yet still Ziv was able to sidestep that big power for the Gnar and do just fine.
I like the tenacity that they had in just early rotationing Rumble Olaf right from the start. It's such a powerful combination that while against some matchups like the Gnar, it's not that easy to actually get a lane advantage. It's so devastating for the backline that they pick. And H2K draft is a completely immobile backline against that, which is so difficult to do. There's Bard, Rumble, and Olaf running at you. You know, I was hoping that we could see a Tristana from Forgiven, which was so successful in their previous runs, but it just didn't come out there, and Caitlyn just cannot do anything into that.
Well, AHQ victorious while the European teams still struggle to find their first victory here in the tournament. In just 3.5 minutes, Brazil's representative INTZ takes to the stage to face off against LPL champions Edward Gaming. We'll be right back, so stay with us.
We're finally at Worlds, guys, so this is our time to show up. All right, good luck, have fun.
He's going to go for the jump off to the side, getting away from the axe, but it's going to be enough damage for Mountain. One more chop, and there's the first blood for AHQ into the top lane.
Keep your way.
Going to teleport, and oh, he grounds him. Ziv cannot take off. He will get the kill.
Nice. Nice.
Whoa, the flash play. They're going to remove the chance to flash out, and On is going to get blasted. Knock up on Alba's looking to take down the support. There's Baron picked up really quick by the red team, but the team fight's still going in. The backline is safe from H2K, and they're putting in a ton of damage right now. On staying alive, gets the snipe. Now the re-engage from Ryu is going to pick up Mountain, and he will.
Nice.
And AHQ takes down H2K for their first match of the group stage.